Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to this next episode of Living Literature. Look, I know you guys are like, this girl's face is getting huge. I'm outside, so the love bugs are trying to get to me. But my face is getting huge because my belly is getting huge. So I want to take the time to reach out and give you guys a little bit more of my literary love. And today it's going to be about Letter to My Husband, author Yvonne Thomas Du-hon. Out here we say Du-hon, Du-hon. It's either way, D-U-H-O-N. I wanted to bring you guys this information. Funny story is I met author Du-hon at an event. I met her at an event and she blessed me with the book. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get to it. Now, I apologize that it's taken me so long, but I'm really happy that it took me a little bit of time because it gave me a chance to really embody and embrace and ingest it. The information inclusive is sometimes hard to read, and this book, Letter to My Husband, is really solid and really honest. It's not every day that you pick up a book that's just brutally honest about the truth in marriage, and this is from a woman's point of view. In the book, it talks about a journey. Pretty much a woman's journey. It talks about the fact that there's a preparation that God does within us before he makes us wives and mothers, and before he places us in a position to serve these most important roles. Because I don't care what anyone says, being a wife and being a mother is the most important role that I have, times two. So anyway, the preparation that she talks about is, I bookmarked a few areas because it was so rich. It was so rich in information, so rich biblically, so rich in just the foundation of information. And Author Du-hon puts them in there, and I'm going to read a couple to you. So she has in here on page 9, and once you get the book, you'll be able to look directly at it. A wife of noble character who can find. She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing in value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. When I read that, and that comes from Proverbs 31, verses 10 through 12. When I read that, I thought about, again, our purpose. And that's even if you have yet to get married. As a woman, if you're in a relationship, we're seen as the nurturing ones. We're seen as the caring ones. We are seen as the supportive ones. And I embody that. I do, because I feel like it's my job, and it's also a reciprocation, of course. But it's my job to say, look, you're going out, you're working hard. Let me make sure that when you get home that I have your towels laid out, your clothes laid out, that I try my best in these days to make a meal, to have the house clean, to be that person. And it's not just saying those things, but in the mental. You know, not all the time does a man or a woman, or in a relationship in general, do you have time to take the time out for yourself. But being a wife and loving my husband, I have to do those things for him sometimes. You have to love the person you're with sometimes enough to do those things for them in the absence of their ability. So when I read this portion, it really made me think about myself and what I do for my husband. You know, another aspect talks about being humble. And I can promise you, when I read that portion, it touched me again. The whole book touched me. Guys, Letter to My Husband is pretty much like I was writing it, to be honest, because it's so many different components that we have to think about. I am a strong woman. I am educated. I am smart-mouthed. I am a multitude of things. And it wasn't until I started to humble myself. As it speaks about in James 4 and 10, it says, humble yourself before the Lord and he will lift you up. It wasn't until I started to humble myself that I started to see a enrichment of my marriage. It wasn't until I started to let down my guard and just let God work in my marriage. It wasn't until then that I started to really see a change in what was going on. And it's rough. It's two people that are coming together, that have to put themselves aside sometimes to say, you know what, for the greater good of what we've worked for and what we want, I have to just tone it down, back it up, slow it down. So there are so many different components that can be read from Letter to My Husband. And I want to do that so badly. But I want to encourage you to take the time, go out, pick up the book. They have it now to where, and I don't know if it's available, but they have it now to where you can read excerpts. And I've read a couple to you because every area of the book gives you different references for spiritual, biblical areas to where you can look it up. Think of what it means to you. You know, it gives you the ability to do that. And the most interesting part is it doesn't have chapters. Letter to My Husband is not chapter divided. It's an ongoing letter. It's so unique to see how, you know, in the woman's frame of mind, as someone who is getting married, has been married, someone who has that experience or is about to gain that experience, how the letter goes from the beginning to the progression, not the end, but the progression. It's very, very unique to see that, and it's an ongoing letter. The beauty in all of this is, as you read the woman's point of view and you get her insight and you get her hopes, dreams, aspirations, her struggles, the defining moments, as you get that, in the back of my mind, I think it's a beautiful thing because Author Du-hon didn't just stop there. Guys, she's added another component to now have a letter to my wife. Oh yes, guys. She's not only giving it to us from a woman's point of view, which I'm glad she started that way, because it's always ladies first, but now she's going back to say, now let me give it to you from his side. Let me give it to you from the other point of view, to where now you can collectively put them together and work cohesively. God as the head and you guys as a union. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. I think that if you look through each area, and they have pictures, I'll show you. They have different pictures, and this one speaks a lot to me right about now, of course, because I come home every day to a young man that looks up to myself as well as his father. And we don't get there all the time, but we work really, really hard on Sundays to make it to church, and he's excited about it, and that's a foundation. And letting him know and keeping him solid and understanding that foundation, that's imperative. To see parents that are going, to see parents that are loving, to understand that when you get home, it's home and it feels good, that's important. So guys, I dropped my my paper right now. I have less brain than I used to. So I wrote down some information because I want you guys to reach out to author Yvonne Thomas Du-hon, or Du-hon, depends on where you're from. And I want you guys to check her out because she has a lot of things going on. So let me run it down for you. Today, as a matter of fact, today she has the Women's Empowerment Seminar. It's happening from 2 to 4. Also in September, there's going to be a foundation fundraiser. And it's going to be at the Buffalo Wild Wings off of Evangeline Thruway in Lafayette. We have a meet and greet. I skipped one. A meet and greet next Sunday at the Louisiana Avenue University Methodist Church. And that's also here in Lafayette. The big one that I'm thinking about, and if I can make it out there, I certainly will, is a Survivors Conference. And that's going to be in Houston. It's a few different days within October, and it's definitely going to be jam-packed with women and conversation and empowerment and love and survivors that have made it, that can instill and pour into other people. If you want any information about author Du-hon, you can look her up. Her website is the YT Foundation .wixsite.com/mysite. Don't worry, I'm going to put it into everything that I post. You guys will be able to link up with her. Just go to the About Yvonne Thomas link. They'll have more information about her, the different foundations, the different things that she has going on, the book itself. Again, Letter to My Husband. If you want to do anything for someone that is about to get married or is married, pick up this book. Because what it does to you, the understanding it provides you, and even if you've gone through the situation, it gives you so much that you can utilize. It gives you so much that you can use moving forward to, if you haven't yet dealt with some of the issues that are discussed or some of the aspects that are discussed. It gives you a guideline to where you can go for it biblically. I encourage you guys to support the author, but to more so than anything, support yourselves. So again, Letter to My Husband, Yvonne Thomas Du-hon. Guys, pick it up, love yourself, and from this you may even learn how to love others better. I hope you have a wonderful remainder of the day. And as always, guys, life's listening.